The hidden truth about trading. When you're trying to learn to trade, everyone will tell you the great stories, but no one will tell you the negative side of trading. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it's highly important that you know both sides, because if you only see the positive side, it's going to be very difficult for you. So I want to be very real in this video. I'm going to share some things that you probably haven't heard before. So pay attention, take notes. Let's get started. Alright, so as I said in the introduction, I'm gonna talk about the hidden aspect of trading that no one really talks about, but it's absolutely essential to your success as a trader. So let's dive into this short presentation. The first thing I want to talk about is how to become a winning trader. And that's going to be two things. First of all, you're going to have at least one strategy that works. You're going to need that, because if you don't have one working strategy, good psychology isn't going to help you. You will not be able to make money. Now, why do I say at least one? That's because if you have one strategy, it can stop working, and no one talks about that. But if you learn something and if you backtest something and you build a strategy, it can stop working whenever it wants, and no one talks about that, but it's really important to take into consideration as well. That's why I prefer having multiple strategies, and most of my time nowadays is put into building more strategies. So 3, 4, 5, 10 different strategies. If then one strategy stops working, doesn't really matter, because you have the other ones. If one strategy goes through a bad period, doesn't really matter, because the other ones are taking over. And that's what you want. So I say at least one strategy, but preferably you do want more. Now, when you got that, the next step becomes developing a winning mindset to trade that strategy regardless of losing streaks, regardless of any obstacles, getting slipped, your target not being filled and then hitting your stop loss, losing 10 times in a row, losing months, etc. Those are the hard parts in trading, and those are the things that you need to master, otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult. And this is the exact reason why most people fail with trading. Is number one, it's very hard to find a profitable strategy that works after trading costs, etc. And then two, the group that does find a profitable trading strategy then can struggle with going through the losing periods. And combine these two things and you have a very, very hard thing to do. So most people do fail, but these are the basic things to become a winning trader. Now, I want to dive into something that also no one talks about, and this is probably going to shock some people. So let's go to my Excel sheet and I'll explain everything. Alright, so what I put in this Excel sheet is basically an overview of performance that you can expect if you're doing well. So what have I done? 2024, the year, I wrote down all the months, the trades that you took each month, the winning trades that you had each month, the win rate and the return every month, and then the totals at the end. Let's take a look at everything. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the amount of trades. Most people will be like, I need 3 trades a week, I need 3 trades a month, 10 trades a month, whatever the case may be. But it's a completely wrong mindset, because you gotta trade what the market gives you. If the market gives you a setup that fits with your rules and your strategy that you tested, then you trade. If it doesn't give you a setup, you wait. And that waiting is already a skill that most people just don't have. And that's what you need to be able to develop. Because let's take a look. January, 15 trades. February, 10. Then March, 3 trades. They might have been at the end of March, so you wait 3 weeks before you get a trade. Can you do that without making mistakes? Most people can't. And that's a skill you need to develop. So the amount of trades that you get in a month or in a year is not a constant. It constantly fluctuates. And therefore you need two things. You need to develop patience to wait for the setups, but you also need to develop focus for when you have a month that gets you a lot of trades. You need to take them all without mistakes. So patience and taking the trades and being focused in the basically flipping the switch, that's what you need to learn. And no one tells you about this, but there's an uneven distribution there, and you need to learn how to handle that. The next thing is going to be winning trades. So let's take a look at that, because the amount of winning trades you have will also change. It goes hand in hand with your win rate. One month you have 46%, the other one 30, then 0%. That's just how it goes. So let's say you're trading this and you have 7 winners out of 15 in January. Next month you only win 3 trades out of 10. Next month you lose all your trades. So 3 trades done, 3 losses. Then you have a great month. This is also a decent month. Then you don't win any trades, and then you lose another 6 in this month. It's unevenly distributed. And can you handle this? That's the question. So that goes hand in hand with the win rate. Like I said, 18% win rate in November, winning 2 trades and losing 9 trades. And don't be like, you just made these numbers up. This is going to happen at some point in your trading career. Now let's take a look at the returns, which is probably the most important part, right? These are returns after costs, and as you can see on the end, you can see a total return of 15% in 2024. That's absolutely amazing, and most people will be like, it's not enough, it's, I need 100%, 50% a year. No. If you take a look at the benchmark, if you take a look at the global market, the global stock market, every country together combined in an index, that makes around 8% a year. 96% of people that trade or invest cannot beat 8% a year. If you make 15% a year, that's almost double 8%. So if you can keep up these returns over the long run, you basically are on top of the world. You are one of the best. So making 15% in a year is absolutely amazing. There's no shame in that. But how did we get to that 15%? That's what really important. January, 3%. February, -2. March, -3. Then April, 8%. Great month. Then losing again. Then 6%. Then 2 losing months in a row. Then we win a little bit. 2 losing months in a row again. And then a big winning month. If you take a look at this, 7 out of 12 months in that year are losing months, and this is realistic. If you take a look at the big hedge funds, they have similar results in terms of losing months and winning months and losing years. So keep that in mind. We are retail traders. We don't have all the information and resources these big professional guys have. So these are realistic results that you can get. So if you take a look at the big picture, wow, 15% in a year, that's absolutely amazing. But then you take a look at how you got there, and then the question again becomes, can you handle this? Can you handle making 3% and then 2 months in a row, you take 13 trades, you lose 10 of them, you lose 5%, and after the first quarter, you're now down 2%. Can you handle that mentally? Because you should be able to, because that's what makes you a winning trader. If you can't go through the bad periods, you will not be able to get to the good ones. And most people just can't. No one tells you this because this doesn't sell the dream of trading. Below I added a equity graph to demonstrate the results even more. We start with trading, and immediately the first month we're up 3%. There we go, January. Then we lose. Here we go, this is February, March, then April, and April will back up. So in April we're back up, we're now up 6% in April. Then we have a good period, we're up 11%, and then we start our drawdown period after June. And we lose and we win a bit, and we lose and we come back, and by the end of November you're down to 2% on the year. And can you handle that? That's the question. And then December turns out to be an absolutely amazing month, and you make 17% in that month. You end up 15%. I know this last bit might seem a bit exaggerated, but you will get some form of this. And then my question becomes, can you handle that? Can you handle trading the entire year being down -2% in November? And then following your plan, still following your plan in December to capture the great month. Can you do that? Because that's essential skill, and to be true, most people can't. So I want you to ask yourself that very question, like, would you be able, after having this performance, to still follow your plan here, being down for multiple months in a row? This is June, July, August, September, October, November. Months in a row you're down. Can you still then follow your plan to benefit from the results in December? And this is the reason why most people can't make it in trading. They don't have a working strategy, and if they do, they just cannot handle periods like this. But this is the realistic side. And yes, I know if you have multiple strategies, and yes, I know if your strategy is really great, these bad periods might be a little less stressful, less impactful, but you're still gonna have those. And no one tells you that, but this is the make it or break it basically. If you cannot handle such periods, you cannot be a winning trader. So that's really, really important, guys, and that's why I wanted to make this video to explain this. Now, let's go back to the PowerPoint because I've got a few more things to share with you. Hopefully I wasn't too negative. Hopefully you learned something already. So, how to actually make it. I gave you a lot of information about the truth, but now how to actually make it. And number one is going to be learning multiple concepts and choosing one. There are so many concepts out there. Learn about them, see what's out there, and then pick one. One that you like, one that you understand, one that you can learn a lot from. Might be breakout trading, might be fundamental trading, whatever it is. Take a look at it and pick what you want, because the concept you use doesn't really matter as long as it works and it works for you. Then you want to build a strategy from that concept. So a breakout is a concept. Then you want to be like, okay, where do I want to enter? How do I define my breakout? Which time frames? Which time period maybe? Where do you get out if you're wrong? Where do you get out if you're right? Think about these things, build your strategy. Then you want to test it over 10 years of data in multiple relevant markets and multiple time frames. For example, if you want to trade an opening range breakout in the index, in the indices market, you want to test on the S&P, you want to test on the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, maybe some European indexes. Why? Because let's say you only test on the S&P and it has great results, and the other 3, 4, 5 you don't test, and it turns out it doesn't work in the other 5. Then you probably just got lucky and found something that doesn't hold up over time. That's why that's important. The other one is test multiple time frames. Reason being is that if you build a strategy for the 15-minute and it doesn't work on the 30 and it doesn't work on the hourly time frame, then you also have an issue. I do understand that lower time frame strategies, for example 15-minute, you cannot expect to be working that on the higher time frames, for example daily or weekly, because that simply attracts other players. However, if you pick 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly or 5-minute and you test those quite similar time frames, you should see that most results will be in the green. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you see that only the 15-minute works, the other ones don't, strategy is probably not that good. The next step then becomes, if you found something, you want to trade it on demo, learn from your mistakes. If you learn from your mistakes, you go to a small live account, and then if you made 0 mistakes there, you're consistent in your execution, then you want to focus on scaling up capital and building new strategies in the meantime to build that portfolio, so if one strategy stops working, you have other ones to take over. That's how you make it, that's the blueprint. Now, I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have any questions, comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram, because I love to connect with you guys. Just send me a message, usually respond within a day. Let's talk trading, let's talk about the issues you have. And then I can help you as well. And of course, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Then I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.